Welcome to Love and Trauma, the real deal. I'm Danielle Sebastian, best-selling author, coach, and yes, I've been through the marriage trenches myself. This show is all about how to actually deal with trauma in relationships and make it work without losing your mind. If you're ready for honest talk, no fluff, and tools that cut through the noise, tune in, because let's face it, love can be a bit of a mess, but it's a mess worth figuring out. This is Love and Trauma, the real deal.
Have you ever noticed how the holidays bring out a very specific kind of ache? Like the minute the decorations go up, a part of your body remembers everything that went wrong in years past. The arguments, the tension, the shutdowns that came out of nowhere. The moment you felt like you were holding the day together with your bare hands. And even though you want this season to feel magical, full of connection and warmth, there's this heaviness in your chest whispering, what if it all happens again? I've been there. There was a stretch of years in my marriage when the holidays were the hardest time for us. Not because we didn't love each other, but because old wounds and old patterns showed up louder than the joy we were both trying so hard to create. And after enough painful Novembers and Decembers, I started carrying that hurt like a shield, almost expecting disappointment, almost preparing for dysregulation before it even happened. It really felt to me like protection, but really, it was stealing so much from me. Here's what I didn't understand back then. Holding on to what hurt you in past holidays doesn't keep you safe in this one. It keeps you stuck in last year's nervous system. It keeps you walking on eggshells for things that may not even happen. And it keeps you from feeling the peace that you've been craving. So, if you're headed into this season feeling guarded, I want you to enjoy your family, your partner, your traditions, but you're bracing yourself because past holidays left scars. I want you to know that you are not alone. And more importantly, it is possible to make this year different. Not necessarily perfect, not conflict free, but calmer, softer, and safer for both of you. So today, we're going to talk about what it really looks like to let go of the hurt from previous holidays, why that pain sticks to you so tightly, and how creating space, even just a little space, can bring back the peace, the presence, and the connection that you've been missing. By the end of this episode, I hope you feel just a little bit more hopeful, a little less alone, and a lot more empowered to make this holiday season feel like a fresh start instead of a repeat of old pain. Let's begin. All right. When it comes to the holidays, hurt doesn't just show up, it echoes. And if you've lived through enough difficult holiday seasons, the tension, the outbursts, the sudden withdrawals, the moments you felt blindsided, your body remembers every single one of them long before your mind does. That's the thing that most people don't talk about. Hurt doesn't linger because you're sensitive. It lingers because your nervous system learned to expect danger on days that are supposed to feel joyful. So the moment you step into holiday mode, your body starts scanning, your guard comes up, your breathing shifts. You're already anticipating the next emotional landmine before anything has even happened. And when your partner carries childhood trauma, this gets amplified on both sides. Their nervous system is in overdrive from the pressure, the expectations, the noise, the change in routine. And your nervous system is in overdrive from all the memories of trying to hold everything together when they got overwhelmed in the past. It's two dysregulated bodies in one house and a holiday that suddenly feels a lot smaller than it looked on the calendar. And here's where the hurt gets sticky. When painful moments repeat year after year, even if they're small, your brain starts treating them like a pattern, which means this season doesn't just feel stressful, it feels unpredictable, like you're bracing for an outcome that you've lived through before, but don't know when it's going to occur. Maybe he shut down last year. Maybe he snapped after a long day with family. Maybe he disappeared into another room and didn't come back out. Maybe you spent the whole evening making peace for everyone. Those moments don't just vanish when the day ends. They stay tucked inside your body. They stay in the way you walk into the room. They stay in the tone you use. They stay in the way you try so hard not to set anything off. Hurt lingers because your body is trying to protect you. And honestly, that's not a flaw, it's survival. But just because your body is remembering the past doesn't mean this year has to repeat it. And that's where the shift begins. Recognizing that the hurt you're carrying is real, but it doesn't have to be the guide for how you move through this season. I want to take you back to a moment in my own marriage, one that sits with me when the holidays roll around. It was a few years into our marriage, right in the middle of December. I had tried so hard to create this warm, cozy, picture perfect holiday, the kind of day where everyone laughs, everyone relaxes, and everyone feels connected. But underneath all of that effort, I was holding my breath. And then it happened, a tiny misunderstanding. Honestly, something so small, I can't even remember the details now. It set off a chain reaction. He shut down completely. It was like watching the light switch off someone you love. One minute he was there and the next he was gone, even though he was standing right in front of me. And I remember standing in the kitchen, staring at the Christmas lights, feeling this mix of heartbreak and frustration spread through my whole body. Because in that moment, I wasn't just reacting to that shutdown. I was reacting to every shutdown before it, every lonely moment I still hadn't processed, every holiday where I felt like I was the only one holding all the pieces. And the part that hurt the most, I didn't know what version of him I was going to get for the rest of the night or the next day. Would he come back out and pretend nothing happened? Would he stay withdrawn? Would I have to carry the weight of the evening alone? My chest felt tight. My mind was racing. And the worst part, I felt completely invisible. Like no matter how hard I tried, the holidays just weren't safe places for us. And it took me years and a lot of learning to understand what was actually happening in those moments. He wasn't shutting down because he didn't care. He wasn't withdrawing to punish me. He was overwhelmed. His nervous system was drowning in expectations, pressure, and old childhood memories that holidays tend to stir up. But in that moment, I didn't know that. All I knew was the hurt. All I knew was the loneliness. All I knew was that familiar ache whispering, "Oh, here we go again." And maybe you felt that too. The sinking feeling when a small moment suddenly carries the weight of many years. The truth is, those experiences leave marks. They shape how we walk into each new holiday. They shape how guarded we become. They shape how much hope we're willing to feel. But they don't have to shape what happens next. And that's what we're going to talk about next. The difference between letting go and letting someone off the hook, because those two things are not the same. Let's talk about something that felt incredibly confusing for me for a long time, especially around the holidays. This idea of letting go. Because every time someone told me, you need to let go of the past, I heard something completely different. I heard, pretend it didn't happen, lower your expectations, accept behavior that hurts you, don't make a big deal out of it again, be the bigger person. And if that's what letting go meant, I want you to know you would be right to resist it. But that is not what trauma-informed letting go looks like. Letting go is not an excuse for hurtful patterns to continue. It's not wiping the slate clean so you can walk on eggshells all over again. And it's definitely not abandoning your own needs. Letting go is something completely different. Letting go means releasing the emotional burden you've been carrying alone. The burden of anticipating, fixing, smoothing over, predicting, and preparing for every possible reaction. It's putting down the responsibility for his dysregulation and picking up responsibility for your own peace. It's saying, I can't control how you show up, but I can control how much weight I keep carrying from the past. When your partner's trauma shows up, especially during the holidays, it's not about you. It's not a reflection of your worth, your effort, or your love. It's a stress response their nervous system learned long before you entered the picture. So letting go doesn't mean saying the past was okay. It means saying, I'm not going to let last year shape this year. I'm not going to relive pain that isn't happening right now. I'm not going to punish myself for someone else's overwhelm. And here's the magic that surprised me in my own marriage. When I stopped holding all the hurt for him, the space between us finally softened. Not because he was perfect, he wasn't, but because my nervous system wasn't dragging old pain into new moments. Letting go created room for something more honest, more grounded, more human. And that is what I want for you this holiday season. Not forced cheer, not suppressed emotions, not pretending, but space. Space to breathe, space to choose, space to respond instead of react, and space to stop letting the past decide the present. And now that we've laid that foundation, let's talk about the 3 things that keep you stuck in the holiday hurt cycle, even when your heart is begging for peace. Now, let's talk about the 3 things that keep so many partners stuck in a painful loop every holiday season, even when they want more peace. They want peace more than anything. And listen, there is no blame here. These patterns are survival. They form because you're trying to protect yourself in a relationship that has held a lot of unpredictable moments. But awareness gives you options. Number 1, personalizing his trauma responses. When your partner shuts down, gets irritable, pulls away, and suddenly gets quiet at family gatherings, it's almost impossible to not take it personally. You start thinking, did I do something wrong? Are they mad at me? Did I miss a sign? Is this about what happened last year? Your nervous system starts filling in the blanks with worst case scenarios before you even know what's happening. But here's the truth. Most holiday reactions aren't about you. They're about pressure, overstimulation, old painful memories, and nervous systems that got overwhelmed faster than they can admit. When you stop taking those moments as a reflection of your worth, you stop carrying emotional weight that was never yours. Number 2, holding the emotional scorecard. This one is sneaky and it builds slowly. After a few tough holidays, your brain starts keeping track. I planned everything. I held all the emotions. I adjusted to keep the peace. I carried it again. And before you know it, you're walking into this year already exhausted from last year. The emotional scorecard is not pretty. It's protective. And it's your mind saying, I've been here before. I don't want to feel that way again. But the problem is when you're holding the scorecard, you're also holding resentment. And resentment doesn't just live in your thoughts, it lives in your body, your tone, your energy, and your expectations. Letting go isn't about erasing that list. It's about saying, this list has been weighing me down. I deserve to walk into this holiday without carrying the past on my back. Number 3, trying to repair when you're activated. This is the trap that pulls so many couples into the same painful spiral. Something happens. He shuts down or gets snappy or disappears into another room, and immediately you go into repair mode, trying to talk it through, trying to fix the moment, trying to get him back online so the day doesn't fall apart. But here's the thing. You can't repair when your nervous system is activated. You can't connect from a place of fear. You can't have a healthy conversation when your body is still bracing. When you're in flight, fight, or freeze, your words won't land. His words won't land. There's no safety for either of you. Giving yourself permission to pause, to regulate, to breathe, to step back. It isn't distancing, it's wisdom, it's maturity, and choosing connection instead of chaos. These three patterns, okay, personalizing, scorekeeping, and repairing well activated, keep you stuck in last year's pain, even when this year could be different. And that's where we're heading next. How to create space for healing, softness, and genuine connection during the holidays, even if you've never experienced that before. So now that we've talked about why hurt lingers and what keeps you stuck in those old patterns, I want to show you what it actually looks like to create space for healing this season. It's not perfection, not a conflict-free holiday, not pretending, just space. Space for you to breathe, space for him to regulate, space for the past to loosen its grip. These 4 shifts aren't complicated, but they are powerful. They changed everything in my own marriage and the clients that I've worked with, and I've watched them change the holidays for countless clients as well. So let's walk through them one at a time. Number 1, name the hurt honestly without blame. Most partners skip this step because it feels uncomfortable. You don't want to ruin the day. You don't want to trigger him. You don't want to sound dramatic. But here's the truth. Unspoken hurt becomes tension. Spoken hurt becomes direction. And you can name your experience without attacking his. Something as simple as, I've realized I'm carrying some sadness from past holidays, and it's been weighing on me. I want this year to feel calmer for both of us. That's not blame. That's leadership. That's vulnerability with boundaries. Naming it frees your body from having to carry it silently. Number 2, separate the past from the present. This is a big one. A lot of the hurt you feel today comes from patterns that started years ago, moments that haven't fully healed, times when you were blindsided and didn't understand what you were seeing, and your nervous system learned this season is not safe. But your partner's reactions during the holidays aren't fresh attacks. They're echoes of old wounds he never got to process. So when something feels off this year, remind yourself this moment might be familiar, but it's not the same moment. You're older now, wiser now, more resourced now, and you're seeing the trauma patterns, not the person. That alone creates so much space. Number 3, give yourself permission to put down the emotional weight. This shift changed my life. For years, I walked into the holidays carrying everyone else's feelings, his feelings, my feelings, the kids' feelings, the rest of my family's feelings, and it was exhausting. Letting go is not about ignoring what's happening. It's about deciding what is actually yours to hold. If he needs space, let that be his work. If he gets overwhelmed, let that be his experience. Your job is to take care of your peace, your grounding, your joy, your experience of the day. You can support him without carrying him. And the surprising thing, when you stop holding all the emotional weight, he actually finds his footing faster because he's not being rescued. He's being trusted. And number 4 is create micro moments of connection. Big holiday breakthroughs rarely come from big, deep conversations. They come from tiny moments of safety. A softer tone, a gentle pause, a warm touch on the back, and a smile that says, I'm here and we're okay. These micro moments do something powerful. They tell both of your nervous systems, this moment is safe. We don't need to go into survival mode. And when your body feels safe, your relationship can breathe again. The holidays don't have to be fixed. They just have to be softened, one small moment at a time. These 4 shifts, naming the hurt, separating past from present, putting down emotional weight, and creating micro moments of connection. They don't erase what happened in past years, but they create the space for this year to be different. And now that we've opened up that space, I want to take you into something really important. What letting go actually feels like when you stop carrying the past. So let's talk about something most people never explain, what letting go actually feels like. Because for years, I thought letting go meant forcing myself to get over it, pretending things didn't hurt, pretending I wasn't carrying disappointment from the last holiday or the one before that or the one before that. But real letting go isn't numbness. It's not pretending. It's not swallowing your feelings and hoping that this year magically turns out better. Letting go feels different. It feels like the first deep breath you didn't realize you were holding. It feels like a loosening in your shoulders. It feels like walking into the day without armor on your chest. Letting go feels like this tiny internal shift where you say, I don't have to keep rehearsing last year in my head. I don't have to predict the next shutdown. I don't have to carry dread just because I've lived it before. It's subtle, it's quiet, but it's powerful. And here's the part that surprised me the most in my own marriage. Letting go didn't make me disconnected. It made me more present. Suddenly, I wasn't bracing for the next moment. I wasn't scanning for his mood. I wasn't tightening my voice or shrinking myself to manage the room. I could actually enjoy the day. I could laugh when something was funny. I could sit by the tree or at the table without that buzzing anxiety in my chest. I could notice the good moments instead of waiting for the bad ones. Letting go didn't erase the past. It simply stopped the past from dictating the present. And something beautiful happened when I stopped carrying that old hurt like armor. My partner softened more easily. Our conversations stayed calmer. There was more repair, more room for repair, more room for connection, more room for us to show up as two human beings doing the best we could. Letting go creates that room, that space, that breath. And it doesn't happen all at once. It happens in small moments where you choose to release the story your nervous system keeps replaying and make space for what this year can really be. Because no matter what your past holidays look like, this year still holds the possibility of softness, connection, and peace in ways you may not have felt in a very long time. Okay, so here's the real deal. The truth. I wish someone had handed me years ago when the holidays felt more like emotional landmines than moments of joy. Letting go of hurt isn't about forgetting what happened. It's not about pretending last year didn't sting or that those painful moments didn't leave marks. And it's definitely not about lowering your expectations or letting someone off the hook. Letting go is about refusing to relive the same hurt over and over again. It's giving your nervous system permission to stop carrying the past into every new moment. It's saying, I deserve to feel peace today, even if last year was hard. It's choosing presence over protection, curiosity over prediction, connection over control. And when you do this, even in small, gentle ways, something shifts. You show up more grounded. He feels that grounding. Your conversations soften. Your reactions slow down. Your home feels safer. And the day no longer feels like a test you're destined to fail. Letting go doesn't magically fix everything, but it opens the door. It creates space for regulation, space for repair, space for the two of you to build a holiday that feels calmer, kinder, and more connected than the ones before. So as you move into this holiday season, I want you to remember this. You don't have to carry last year's hurt into this year's moments. You get to breathe. You get to choose. You get to pause. You get to build something new, even if it's just one small moment at a time. And that's how healing starts, not in grand gestures, but in the tiny, brave decisions to let the past stay in the past and let the present become a place where connection is possible. You've got this, truly. Now, this is the last episode for this year of 2025, and I will be seeing you again in January. But if this episode resonated with you, or if you know someone who would really benefit from hearing this, I ask you to share this and subscribe to this playlist so that you can get notifications of my next episode in the new year. And I'm wishing everyone a blessed holiday. Thank you so much for joining today.
All right, that's a wrap for today on Love and Trauma, the real deal. Big thanks to my guests for sharing their insights. Couldn't have done it without you. Now, for those of you looking to take this journey further, I've got something special. Head to my website to grab Real Tactics, Real Healing, a survivor's playbook for navigating a relationship with a trauma survivor. It's packed with everything you need to know, do, and say to navigate the emotional minefield, find your balance, and regain your self-worth and happiness.